brilliant Frank Caliendo here on VSiN. Hi, Frank.
Everything you're saying is 100% true. I'm getting notes from your crew that my face was way too bright. Now I've got a line going through it. I tell you what, man, what's good? She says it's better. That's a lot better.
You look like you're sitting on the sun, dude. What are you doing?
I'm sitting on the sun. That's exactly what I'm doing. 100%, man. That's what we do. That's what we do in the Las Vegas Raiders. Wow, that is bright. Holy cow.
Well, just keep circling the whole entire conversation.
Oh, I see a Michigan helmet. Have you done a Jim Harbaugh yet?
No, but that's my Adam Schefter prop. According to my sources, at this particular time, it appears that right now, Frank Caliendo did not clean his room. What he did was just move everything around so it wouldn't be on camera. And once he changed directions, it was all over.
Hey, but yeah, I was going to ask you, Frank. I'm in Vegas right now. Gruden lives right down the street. You think he'd care if I just went over and quarantined and chill with Jon Gruden down the street here?
I tell you what, man, that'd be a tremendous idea. Let's go play some slots. You ever go see Celine Dion, man? Doesn't get any better than. Now I'm trying to get my full head on the screen. This is I should have planned better.
So all right, somehow Frank's known for impersonations, but trying to get the right camera angle, Michael, is even better than the impersonation. Let's do this for 20 straight minutes. I love it.
Well, here's the other thing I learned. Hold on. I'm talking.
Okay.
No, just kidding. You thought that was real for a second. It's probably like, hey, Jim Rome, pause. Don't talk over the pauses. It's too important. Here's the other thing I learned the other day is that it's hard to do a Robert De Niro face with the AirPods in because they start falling out. See that? Okay, I got to keep them in, and then sometimes I turn it off. Not very good. Okay. Michael, back to you.
You know, I got to ask you, when I was growing up, I loved Rich Little. Were you influenced by Rich Little? I mean, who influenced you to be able to do these voices and create this incredible funny content, especially as you transitioned into sports, which really makes it even better? I mean, the idea that you can bring Morgan Freeman into the TV booth and call games is just great. But who influenced you the most?
Well, originally, I would say Rich Little was probably the first one because I would watch him. I was born in 74. I'm 74. That's just how I feel right now. I watched The Love Boat, and Rich Little will be in The Love Boat and The Muppet Show, and I was always amazed by impressions. But it was Dana Carvey on Saturday Night Live, Jim Carrey, people like that, Phil Hartman. Those are the people that influenced me to come along and do this. And Robin Williams and Jonathan Winters, those guys. And sports was just an accident. I grew up, my dad was a minor league baseball player when he was younger, before we were born, my two brothers and me. And we played baseball growing up, 1988 National AAU Junior Olympic champions. And I was an All-American. Don't want to dwell too much in that.
Big deal. Throw it in there.
Yeah. Just a couple of home runs. But we played sports, and I was a catcher. And I used to mess with the hitters as I was behind the plate, doing little bits of impressions. I would do impressions of the umpires and stuff like that, but that's where the sports stuff came. And I just knew that. I just knew sports, and maybe not as much as because originally I wanted to be like a ESPN anchor or something like that. And then when I finally got out there and realized how much those guys knew and people like I was like, I can't do this at all. My memory is thank you for widening the camera a little bit. My head's pretty big. So I noticed everything. And I got the Tony Stark beard going. Do me a favor. Enjoy me, because there's only so much. All right? Avengers, I'll be back. All right. So what was the question? Did I answer everything?
Yeah, you did.
I'm so worried about everything else.
No, trust me. You look. I swear, you look like Ryan Gosling. You couldn't be more handsome. We're welcoming you. We're welcoming you in. It is VSiN. We're joined by Frank Caliendo, and the podcast is incredible. The Caliendo cast. Make sure you check that out. FrankCaliendo.com. Again, we do welcome you. It's the Lombardi Line presented by BetMGM here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, and Frank Caliendo is hanging out with us. I would imagine during the quarantine here, I can't look at you and ask you a question, dude, because you're just too funny. Do you drive your family crazy during a quarantine, walking around doing the impressions? Because you could essentially annoy and entertain yourself at the same time.
No, trust me, I've been annoying. I used to work at indoor baseball, softball place, handing out tokens, and that's where I worked on the impressions. My kids, they're more embarrassed by me, but we have a pretty decent sized house, so it's one of those things that I'm like, well, they paid for this house. They're like, oh, that's pretty good then. My son and daughter were doing Gruden this week.
I saw that.
I just did it yesterday. Yeah, and Michael retweeted that. Thank you. But my daughter's done it a bunch, and I'm like, my son, and he didn't even really want to do it. He's just really embarrassed of me. And so he finally did it yesterday, a little bit reluctantly, but now he's seeing all these, views and stuff like that. The weirdest thing is we uploaded that one with him, and he came up with his own line, social distancing. That's my favorite play in the playbook right now. I was like, that's a great line. What a great line. But it started out really weird. And I'm going to tweet this out later because I swear I have a cursed Twitter feed. It had like 280 likes, 60 retweets or something like that, or 50 retweets, but only supposedly 26 views. And he was walking around going, what's going on? Why is this? What's it? Like, I don't know. Twitter's really weird. Everybody's on it right now. But he was all upset. Now it's got like close to 200,000 views. But he's like, how many should that really be? I'm like, I don't know. 1 million. That's what I thought. Should probably be around 1 million. Yeah.
Frank, are you you Gruden? Look, I spent so many years with Gruden. You've got Gruden down. Spider 2, Y banana. I mean, you've got it all. You got it all down there. I mean, are you working on any? I know you're working on Belichick, which I really enjoyed that one a little bit too.
Yeah, I've even got the Belichick. You know, if you can see, I wore the just for you guys the Belichick.
I love
sleeveless.
it. Yeah. You need a pair of scissors, Frank. You really need a pair of scissors.
I cut part of them. Yeah, I got some. I cut part of him off, not enough. Yeah, the Belichick is really just mumbling. And he always, before he speaks, he always says this. He does that little, listen, this is just a kind of a thing where I'm really excited. I'm incredibly excited to be here. This is a very, very good. You guys are probably doing one of the most exciting interviews I've ever been a part of. Oh, my God.
Are you working on anyone else? Do you have anyone else in the like? Take us through your process of how long it takes you to kind of create these voices.
Oh, it takes forever. I just say things over and over and over. And when I was working on the Tony Romo, my podcast partner John Holmberg and I, John Holmberg, we were just going back and forth working on Tony Romo. I kept changing, but we realized what he is. He just, it's that sees the future kind of a thing. And you couldn't go watch a movie with Tony Romo because he's oh, Jim, this is incredible. You're not going to believe what happens here. That kid's going to turn out to be dead the whole time. Here we go, Jim. But as soon as he says, here we go, Jim, it's going to, and then Nance is like Nance. I don't have a great Nance. It comes and goes, but it's always like you're messing around with the speed and volume dial on the voice. And you go, here we go, Tony. To the sideline. He does that all the time. Jim, this is incredible and amazing and amazingly incredible. Oh, Jim, this is just the greatest game in the world.
Hey, Frank, you think Mel Kiper Jr. could do a scouting report on Michael Lombardi?
Lombardi did a tremendous job. He was out there. I believe he helped coach for just about every team, not related to Vince Lombardi. A lot of people wondering that, probably gets that question every day. But it turns out that in the end, they did name the trophy after Michael Lombardi. A lot of people don't know that. I think it's the Vince Lombardi trophy. It's actually the Michael Lombardi trophy. After I did Kiper the first time, people thought he hated me. Because he's got that look on his face like he's just disagreeing with your thoughts. Like, I have no idea what you're going to say, but let me just say this. What you're thinking right now just came to me. I'd stay away from that. But in terms of him calling me, he called me after the first time he saw. People thought he hated it. He calls me up. He's like, hey, Frank, saw the whole Kiper family watching you do the impression of me on the television. Let me ask you this. I'm going out to Vegas. I know you worked out in Vegas. You ever go see Blue Man Group? I was thinking about what kind of shows there was out there. Blue, are they actually blue people? Because I've never heard of an actual blue person. No, they put like blue paint on, and that's how they. I had no idea. They do the whole thing with the toy. Oh, we lost the phone.
Wait,
we just found Antonio Brown, man.
What would John Madden? Hold on
a second. Hold on. I bent down too fast to get that. All right. We're back.
What would John Madden think of the situation you're going through right now, trying to figure out how to work the camera?
I mean, that's what happens with Caliendo. He's kind of a putz. He's a bit of an idiot. You watch him do these different things. And there's your champion. That's an inside joke from off
That's a callback. That's a callback from Michael there, Michael.
Oh, yeah, that's so good. I mean, the John Madden and the Summerall, the interaction, and then the Irishman. I mean, I love that. What I would love is, and I don't know if you do all the voices, but the thought I had was the Sopranos quarantined, how they would communicate between one another under quarantine relations. That would, to me, would be ideal. If you could
there's only one that I do, Michael. There's very, very, very good. It's a good idea. It's a great premise, but what we're going to do is have to figure out, what's going to happen in the end. Maybe they should have figured out a way to CGI me into the Irishman. Is that what I mean?
Hey, that would have been very good. I don't know what's going on here.
But it's going to be pretty good. It's okay. It's okay.
Hey, did you hear Did you hear after you? We're going to have Stephen A. Smith on.
I had no idea of the incredulity of what was about to happen. I understand what's going on here on the VSiN television program, and I contemplate foresight, appreciate. I'm just throwing words together. It's just Stephen A. Smith looking at a dictionary.
I'm out. I like when he goes, I'm out. Like that he goes, I'm out.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Frank, you were joking about it a little bit earlier, but you could tell when you're doing the sports stuff, like when you're on Fox and stuff, like this is something you're passionate about. It's not just, you're not just a passing fan. Like this is all you. You love the sports.
Yeah, I grew up loving sports. It's just that was the way. I played most sports. Well, the big three. I grew up in Wisconsin, but it was basketball, football, and baseball. And I'm 5'6", so basketball wasn't in the cards and nothing. My dad was about 5'6" as well, was a middle infielder. He was like, you can always play baseball. And then I'm like, yeah, but I can't hit a curveball. That's going to be a problem. So, but yeah, I grew up loving sports. I watched a lot of sports. So I always knew the little bits of references because you could throw out different names. It's always fun to hear, Bill Walton going, how incredible is this? I haven't seen a play like that since World Be Free. It does not get Granville Waiters. Might have been the best player on the court at the time. Incredible. That kind of stuff.
Are you a Packer fan, Frank? Are you a Packer fan?
I grew up a Packer fan. Still, I might, with the Raiders and Gruden, I've kind of moved over there a little bit. I migrate, but also Steve Kime's a friend of mine with the Cardinals, general manager. So I always support the local team. I even support. That's how bad I started becoming friends with people. And it's tough. I even root for Tampa because Bruce Arians. I tell you what, Dad, that's what it's all about. We got Tom Brady down here. It's going to be amazing. We're going to make everything happen. It's absolutely going to be Jameis Winston. Daddy. Jameis Winston. He's throwing the ball to the wrong team. So we got. He's a good player. He's a good guy. But we're going to get him over here. We got Tom Brady. He's going to do it.
How about your Scottsdale buddy there? My man Charles lives in Scottsdale out there. Do you get a chance to kind of do you and Charles get together? I'm sure you and Charles get together quite often as you talk about Charles.
Well, I've only hung out with him a couple times, but he is the best. The first time I ever did him in front of him, or no, I shouldn't say that. It was I did an event. It was a Phoenix Charities. Phoenix Suns charity celebrating all the good that the Chief Phoenix Suns do for the community. And I set it up with Charles beforehand. He's like, Frank, you got to keep doing it. I'm like, what's like? You got to keep doing that impression. He's like, why is that? Because every time you do it, I end up making more money. And he was honest about that. He's like, I don't even understand why people hear you on the radio. Next thing you know, I get a new commercial for Taco Bell or Weight Watchers. So he had a lot of fun with it. I brought him up on stage. I didn't bring him up on stage. We set it up for him to sneak up on stage, and he makes fun of me. He's like, can't you do? He's like, don't you have anything better to do than sit around your house pretending to be me? I was like, that's the greatest line in the world. It was incredible. I was just sat there like, I have no idea what to say. Now go ahead. So he's a very funny. The honesty of Charles Barkley is what I truly love, because Chaz, as I call him when he's not around. But Chaz Barkley will do that. They'll put him on CNN like, what do you think of the Middle East? I think it's a really bad situation. You guys are having me talking about the Middle East right now, knucklehead. Come on, Blitzer. Don't be a knucklehead.
You know what we could use right now? We could use a PSA about the coronavirus from Mike Ditka.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure I can say on the program, but let me say this. I'm going to kick. I'm still doing Bruce Arians, man. That's the problem. So this guy chew gum a little bit more, and I'm going to kick the coronavirus butt. That's what's going to happen.
How does he, Michael? But the favorite part, I know everybody says it, but his face turned into Ditka. How is that even possible?
It's that's really the remarkable thing. Frank, what's your number one? You're walking through the airport. You're going to do a show. People obviously come up to you. What's the number one they ask you to do all the time?
Oh, the first thing they ask me to do is be taller. That's it, because they don't believe it's me. Let's see. It's anywhere from. It depends on what people like. It could be Barkley. It could be Madden if they're older. Gruden's big. A lot of times it's Al Pacino. Some people with they know they do Avengers stuff. They ask for the Tony Stark. Okay. So it could be any of those. It really depends on who that person likes. And sometimes I've had people in the airport just yell ta 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 ta.
And you know what? Gruden's been really cool about it. I mean, I don't know if everybody's cool about it. Gruden's the best.
We went to see Aerosmith a few weeks ago. He grabs my phone. This is before social distancing and stuff like that. Actually, just before, probably like a couple weeks. I was in Vegas with my son. He was helping my brother-in-law out with a convention. And Gruden grabs the phone at Aerosmith, and he grabs it and goes, I'm at the Aerosmith concert right now, getting ready with my good friend, Jon Gruden. How's it going, Johnny? And he kept calling me Johnny. He goes, how's it going, Johnny? I was like, I couldn't not let. And it was him on his phone. And then I later posted it and went crazy. And the internet went nuts. But it's, they're like, is Frank Caliendo and Jon Gruden really hanging out together? You better believe it. He texted me the other day. That's how I knew this coronavirus stuff was really getting to people. I got texts from like Gruden, like, doing okay, man? Doing all right? Anything I can do? I was like, yeah, I'm okay. It's a little spider too wide bananas right now, but it's okay.
That's the best. We went when I was with them in Philadelphia. We went to go see ELO together. Watching Jon Gruden do ELO songs was like, and every time now that I think back on it, listen to that, I think of you doing ELO, not Gruden.
Tell you what, man, I'm not good enough to pull that off right now, man.
Listen, this is exactly what we needed. Again, it's the Caliendo cast, frankcaliendo.com. And listen, we got to the end, and you finally just set up the camera correctly. You look great now, man.
How about that? And by the way, one of the guys on our podcast listens to you guys all the time, Scott Long, and Michael especially. You're where he gets a lot of his information from. He's always like, Lombardi's saying this. He's the number one analyst in terms of analyzing. Thanks, Scott. All right. Nice job.
Are you a bettor? Do you ever place sports wagers, Frank?
No, I like money way too much. Holmberg on the podcast. I went to Vegas with him into the high limit slots and just went, oh my God, this is incredible. Like but he's a huge bettor. He's always, and he's right a lot. So I should probably try betting with him. I'm just too scared. But yeah, Holmberg is the big. I'm the safety guy, but Scott and Holmberg, John Holmberg are both, Scott Long and John Holmberg are both big time. They're big time. I might start after this though. Listen to you guys, I'm starting to get some good information.
Well, that's the thing. That's the same thing with Lombardi. Michael, that's
I just made a promo.
The Gruden is so good. You got to know.
I can't.
I mean, what I got to do is get you to do Al Davis and Gruden together and have a conversation between Al and Gruden. I think that would be just unbelievable. I can do a little Al. Everybody does Al. Everybody does Al. You got to have the right cologne too. But everybody does Al. Oh, that's not what I asked you, kid. But then Gruden and him going back and forth, that would be great.
Can you repeat that? We can do it right now. That's the magic of Skype, man. We can actually do it, Lombardi. You're not putting yourself in the category to make it happen. Come on, Davis. Get out of that FUBU outfit. Let's make ourselves.
That's not what I asked Coach Gruden. He always would call John Coach Gruden. Coach Gruden, what do you think of this?
Well, Owner Davis, I know that you got a lot of great ideas. But, we're right now, I'm just going to do what I'm doing unless you're going to give me a raise, man. $10 million a year. Trust what I got for you.
Oh, you're the best, Frank.
I was talking to Mark. I was talking to Marky, man. He's happy with what I'm doing. Don't worry about it, Al.
Owner Davis.
Al would have been worried about it. 11 wins in 2 years. Al would have been driving crazy. Oh, my gosh.
Frank, you can the Caliendo cast. That's it right now, right? You can't get on the road. You can't do anything in the stand-up.
Yeah, just doing that and the social media stuff. I got a big thing that I've been working on for 3 or 4 days, like the Virishman, which was the virus Irishman. It was more about toilet paper than anything.
Oh, I